This is a Chuki Beat production.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shadowhunter here. Welcome to another Drift Busters video. Today we're going to go over the best engine layout for drifting in Forza Motorsport 7. The three test subjects we have today are a Liberty Walk Hellcat Challenger representing the front engine cars, a Liberty Walk 458 Italia representing the mid-engine cars, and a 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS for the rear engine cars. All three of these test subjects are between 900 and 1100 horsepower, and each car's tune is shared and available for you to download and try for yourself. Just search my gamertag SHADOWxlxHUNTER. The testing structure is the same as the last Drift Busters video. I give myself 3 laps on Maple Valley Full to set my 1 lap record in each car, and of course, the highest score wins. So let's get started. First up, we have the Hellcat Challenger. With the front engine layout being the most common choice for drifting, I expected the Hellcat Challenger to do fantastic in this test. The front engine layout was very easy to tune, very easy to control, and it was very predictable when drifting. I also didn't feel like I had to be on top of my game to drive this car at a higher level. A couple benefits of choosing a front engine car would be the fact that there's going to be more tunes available, as it is the most common choice for drifting, and a relatively low skill barrier needed to get started drifting and to drift at a higher level. And of course, the front engine cars are definitely the best choice for beginners to use. However, when it comes to getting the most out of the car, I felt like it wasn't very confidence inspiring at high angle levels. It didn't really feel like it had a sure footing when I was drifting. Now, it's not just this Challenger. I do notice this across all the front engine cars I drive. So my highest scoring lap with the Hellcat Challenger ended up being an 80,522 point lap. Next up, we have the Ferrari 458 Italia representing the mid-engine layout. Now, I don't see very many mid-engine cars when I drift in public lobbies. I'm not sure if that's just because people can't tune them or can't drive them, or if it's just because people would rather use front engine cars. Towards the end of Forza Motorsport 6, some of my favorite cars to drive were the supercars, with the Hennessy Venom GT and Lamborghini Veneno being my go-to cars to drive. Now, when it comes to tuning mid-engine cars in Forza 7, you do have to have some understanding of how tuning works in the game. Now, there are a few weird handling quirks because of the rear weight bias in mid-engine cars that you have to compensate for in the tune. So you will have to have a general understanding of how tuning works in Forza Motorsport 7. Now, the mid-engine layout inspired the most confidence while drifting at high angles, even though it took more effort to throw the car into the drift. I think this is because I felt like the car is more predictable than the front engine cars once you get used to the small handling quirks. However, there is a fine line of how much you can recover from, and as soon as you cross that line, all hope is lost. My best lap score with the 458 was 83,346 points. Now, last but not least, we have the 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS representing the rear engine layouts. Now, I rarely see people drifting rear engine cars in public lobbies. Now, I'm going to assume this is because the rear engine cars are hard to tune and hard to drive, especially when it comes to the inexperienced drifter. Now, during quick transitions, the rear engine cars have a noticeable pendulum effect, so if you're not prepared for it, this can spin you out pretty easily. Now, not only do the rear engine cars have a pendulum effect to them, but they are also very easy to over-rotate on initiations for drift. Now, this is especially noticeable when going into downhill sections. However, I feel the rear engine cars feel the most stable at high drift angles, but with a lot of weight over the rear tires, it can be hard to keep the cars in long drifts through high-speed sweepers because of all the rear end grip. So in my opinion, rear engine cars would work the best with high horsepower. That's why my GT2 RS tune has over 1,000 horsepower. Now, another negative to rear engine cars are their lack of predictability. Forza 7 physics doesn't take very well to the rear engine cars, so if the track surface isn't smooth, isn't even, or has some sort of off camber or bump in the road, you can get into weird positions where you lose all front end input because all the weight kind of sits on the back end there. So when drifting on tracks such as Prague, you need to be very aware of the surface changes and the dips and the crests on the track. Now my best lap with the GT2 RS was 83,321 points, about 25 points shy of the 458. So what you can see here is all three scores laid out against each other. Now if you look, I was within 3,000 points between all engine layouts for my high score laps. Being so close, I'd say that comes down to driver preference. Even the 3-lap total for each car was within 4,000 points of each other. So here are my final thoughts to leave you with. The front engine cars are the easiest overall to drive and tune. The mid-engine cars are the most predictable and have amazing angle recovery. And the rear engine cars have the best stability at angle, but are easily the hardest to tune and drive. And with that, if you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like. In the comments below, tell me what your favorite engine layout is to drift. And if you like my content and want to see more, smash that subscribe button for me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.